There was a video on Facebook with the police reversing on the opposite side of the highway and firing shots on the beatum. You can't, that's not, what are these? And then, you're describing people as insects and these things. This is what, and that is hopefully where PACTT will go to an extent. I mean, again, we're not in a position to say we are holding you into account, but if we gather enough people to register with us, to be members with us, there's no membership fees or anything like that. It's just
what is the purpose of having membership?
It's to be able to show that with all its members can say, well, look.
These to start there. I mean, can you really separate them?
Of a branch of law enforcement or anything could make a difference by doing this, and again have some level of holding them accountable.
So I want to go back to the beginning of our conversation where you talked about your affiliation with a political organization as the other founders of PACTT, right? And do you really believe it's possible for your political activism or involvement to stop somewhere and for your apolitical activities to start there? I mean, can you really separate them and differentiate?
I for one, I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I think first of all that yes, everyone that is within our group now has that ability to their own extent. But for me, usually outside of political times, I stay non-political. I try to.
What does that mean?
I'm not campaigning during the 5-year period between elections. And that's not a good thing for a party. You're supposed to be on the ground. You're supposed to be talking to people and all these kinds of things. I've expressed to the public before, for my party in particular, that I think that's a waste of time. Giving people, what you're going to people to tell them, I will do this, I will do that. In an age of technology, everybody have the ability to read, right? Get the word out there. And if people really do want a change, which has not been reflected in the last elections at all outside of Tobago, then they will make the change. They will vote for that change. But until then, all we as small parties can do is try to put forward our best feet. And, yes, in forming a group like this and trying to forward policy initiatives, it's not political in nature at all. But yes, it does come from our political nature. And what I mean by that is the reason that people like ourselves register parties, form parties, and choose to put ourselves in public eye and contest the elections is not because we want to, I despise words like rule and get power and all this. You notice what I just said? Elected to manage. Right? It's not about elected to rule and we in power now, and these things just show and to me it shows the ego of these people, right? And to me it's ridiculous, right? I think that we as leaders have had these initiatives and we want change for our country. So the only thing to do is to come together. Sometimes it's hard for us to do it by ourselves. So in coming together, with each of us having our own contacts, our own roster of people and all these things, we were able to bring something together. And I must congratulate our president, Nalini Dial. I think she's done a fantastic job thus far of putting everything together, organizing all the stuff that has to be organized, getting this first meeting in place with all the speakers and everything. And fantastic job on her behalf, I think.
So do you see this as a kind of vehicle, I mean, objectively speaking here, of course, as a vehicle for what will come in 2 years when we are heavy into campaigning?
No, that's the difference. I mean, realistically, the most any of us can say at an election time, at a coming election time, because most of us, I think all of us don't contest local general. We have nothing to do with local general.
Local government. Yeah, get it. I get it.
Yes. I didn't get much sleep last night. So we don't have anything to do with that. If there's an election coming up in 2 years, a general election, most any of us can say is we've been a member of a group that has tried to put forward policy initiative, but it's not going to make us look better or worse. We've been each doing a ton of things on our own over the last decade, in terms of charity, in terms of working with social development with people outside of the ministries and all that stuff.
And I don't want to turn it into that kind of interview where, we're talking about what your political record is, because I'm frankly not interested in that, given what the focus of your intervention is currently.
I just want to make sure that you and the listeners understand that just because you correctly identified...
I will tell you this, the listeners will hear what they want to hear.
Of course.
Okay, so